see how long my wait's gonna be. I have to keep this place in mind if I'm ever in Chicago and need parking. I didn't know we had a big lot here. It'd be a good place to hide out if I need somewhere to park at 2 in the morning. That's loud. They should have me in there in about an hour. So. Apparently, it's just a Denton shop that doesn't allow dogs in there. So if I end up being a while, I can sit in the driver waiting room with my doggo. That's perfect, because I really don't want to go to a hotel. They may end up putting one of these, trying to get me into the shop for a month or two to get that little rear guard switched over. I'll keep them in mind. I'll get the number for this place and have them. There's a couple of parts my truck needs that they're not just going to have in stock, but I can give them a call. And now that I know they're here, I come up through Chicago a couple times a month. Oh, you smell that dog on me? I'm sorry. Her name was Shiloh. You might get to meet her in a little while. It's like, you pet another dog. You're dead to me. Anyway, lady at the desk said it shouldn't be more than an hour before I get in the shop, so don't hate that. Hopefully they'll get me in and out of here somewhat reasonably. Like I say, I'm pretty sure it needs a belt, and hopefully that's all it needs. But I need to go get my sleeper booth cleaned off in case they need to get in there, because there's computers and stuff up underneath the bunk they might have to get into. I just called to update my dispatcher, and she's all panicking about me getting out of here to go get this thing delivered. She's like, well, you know, it's a Kroger. It's like, well, there's a stop before the Kroger, which I don't understand why you guys scheduled it so close together there. My first stop there is for 7 a.m. and then 10:30 a.m. for the next stop. Yeah, I understand it's one pallet, but places can take as long as they feel like taking. It's like I've sat at a place for 2 hours for one pallet, and if that ends up happening, we're gonna have a hard time getting into that next stop. And then I was like, you know, it shouldn't take them that long, and as long as I'm out of here by, you know, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I can go deliver that thing. It's not gonna be a problem. Even if I don't get any sleep today. Right? Even if I have to jack around here at the shop all day long waiting, it's like it's a 3-hour drive and then like another hour and a half over to Romulus, I believe. And she, you know, she had to remind me that it's an hour ahead. It's like, yeah, I know. I've been a truck driver for 10 years and I ran most of my miles up here on I-80. I think I know that Michigan is an Eastern time, but okay. I didn't say any of that. I wasn't rude to her. I was like, yeah, I know. Thanks though. You know, I guess it's better to remind me than not remind me, because I could have forgotten, I guess. But let me pull up to the bay here. The sun is bright. Told me to grab what I needed to go take a seat in the lounge. I thought I left the thing recording, but I gotta sign out here. Make sure I log off duty here. Because if they move the truck over 5 miles an hour, it'll log those hours as I'm doing it. So I got to sign out, log out here. Sitting here at the shop, this new driver came in, they got him a rental car. He needs to take the rental car back, and he didn't have a way to get back here, so he asked me, or the room, if somebody'd be willing to follow him and bring him back, and because the Hirschbach has a shop car basically, where I'm borrowing this car, and I asked him if he'd let me drive that. Driving he called it an SRT. It's a GT. It's a 6-cylinder. Anyway, follow him to the... Boy, maybe I shouldn't be driving. Follow him to the car rental place. Let him drop his car off and bring him back. He said he knows the way, but we'll see. Dude was driving 15 miles an hour in a 30. This rental car, or this shop car, is kind of junk. It feels like the transmission, it's like it has a stall converter on it, which is bullcrap because it's a minivan. The converter might be going out and it revs to like 1500 RPMs before it kicks in and goes. It really sucked to get stranded in this thing. So it's like it acts like you're trying to boosted launching it every time you take off because the stall on it's crazy high. It's got a check engine light on it, but let's just try to get there and get back, huh? So I am driving back up to the shop because I was informed that they had the IFTA stickers I needed, and I asked if I could just collect them and go put it on the truck. Drivers aren't allowed to put them on the truck. Like, excuse me? Why? This dude had the gall to say this to a truck driver. Because truck drivers are incompetent and can't put them on right, can't put a sticker on right. Like, wow, dude. What an attitude.
I say that, I gotta go to PA, so.
You're too incompetent, huh? Huh?
What's that?
Truck's sitting here.
Cool.
Yep. So his old envelope, he has one in here. So yeah, he has a
Did you bring your permit book in here?
He has an old
Did the first
truck
time.
and an old truck.
Get some tricks straight real quick. I think you misunderstood what I heard. Yes, there are some truck drivers that are so fucking incompetent that they ruin it for the rest of y'all. I wasn't a direct reflection of you.
They got me out of the shop fairly quickly this morning, but you know, I climbed back here and went to go to bed at like 11, and at like 3 o'clock this afternoon, my dispatcher guy with me was like, "Hey, you need to get your IFTA stuff done. IFTA's fuel tax system." I was like, "Okay." Because I would have got it done when I was in the shop, except I was told that all my IFTA stuff was waiting down at the yard in Kansas City, not up here. So I begrudgingly, annoyingly, got up and got dressed, walked down to the building to ask to get my IFTA stickers and my cab card. It's when the guy in there decides to tell me they can't just give me my IFTA stickers. They have to put them on themselves. I'm like, excuse me? What? Why was that a thing? His response was, because truck drivers are incompetent and they ruin it for everybody, so now we gotta put it on ourselves. Which was a really crappy way to say it and annoyed me a little bit, but I didn't say anything. Because I wasn't sitting there trying to get in a fight with somebody or an argument with somebody. So I just ignored it. And I was like, well, I really don't want to move my truck because I'm off duty and I got to get rolling sometime this evening. And it's like, well, you're not getting your stickers without pulling up here. I was like, so I can walk down here to deal with you guys, but you can't walk out to where my truck is and put the stickers on. It was a 20-yard walk. That's when he says, that's when he interrupts me. I ain't arguing with you, man. Either bring your truck down here or don't. You're not getting your stickers unless you bring it down here. I said, okay. So I begrudgingly went and got my truck, brought it down to the shop so they can put their stickers on for me, since apparently I'm incompetent. You know, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've put stickers on my truck for 10 years, once a year for 10 years. Never had a problem with it, never gotten in, never any issues. So I get back in there, and one of the other drivers is on his way out. He was standing there during that last conversation. They were sitting there BSing. And apparently he's going up towards Washington or something, state. I thought I'd just get a little jab in there like he did to me. So I was like, oh, don't be too incompetent on your way up there. That's when the guy in the shop, what was that? He didn't say anything for a few minutes. I went out to get my logbook. Not logbook, permit book. Brought my permit book in, he's flipping through it. He stops, he says, I think we need to get something straight here. I was like, shoot, buddy. I'm not really mad. I was a little annoyed at his comment, but I'm not mad. He said, when I made that comment, I wasn't trying to say anything personal to you. I was just saying that there's some drivers that did some really stupid stuff and put their stickers on wrong and got fines and stuff, so now they have to do it. It's like, all right. What's your job title, buddy? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, just humor me. What's your job title? And he tells me he's shop manager. I was all right. So if I came in here and said something along the lines as these GD shop managers so incompetent that they ruin it for everyone, you wouldn't take that personally? He's like, well, I understand what you're saying. It's like, all right, then maybe don't say shitty things about truck drivers in front of truck drivers. That's pretty rude. It's like, I didn't say shit to you. I made one little snarky comment to another driver. It's like, but I wasn't that mad at you. I was annoyed at the comment. You're going to generalize and say that all truck drivers are incompetent and that's why you can't let me do a job that's super freaking simple. Fine. Maybe keep that shit to yourself. You just say, well, you could have just as easily said, well, there was a couple of drivers that, didn't put them on right, and the insurance lady at our company wants to make sure a mechanic does it. Because apparently mechanicing gives you a license to learn how to put on decals. I don't understand that, but whatever. Anyway, I had a couple arguments here today that didn't have to happen. I had one driver come out as I was getting ready to leave. I was sitting there talking to the same shop manager, and I had my dog on the leash. This dude comes up to the door of the shop. Hey man, get your pit bull. And he interrupted me, and I was like, what? He said, get your dog. And me being me, can't just let that kind of shit slide. I was like, who the do you think you're talking to? Like, you could have asked politely. I'd have got him, away from you. He's like, what are you talking about, man? You standing there with your dog. He's coming at me. It's like, I got him on a leash. He's got 3 feet. You ain't got to get close enough for him to get you. All I had to do was ask. But instead, you're going to come up and act like you're going to punk on people. I ain't the one, bud. You're not going to talk to me like that. I don't know you. You don't know me. kind of stuff happens a lot, and I really do wish that I had the temperament to just let that stuff slide. I'm not a big fan of the ID part of me that can't let someone disrespect me and just let it slide, because it doesn't matter. I don't know him, he doesn't know me, I'll probably never see him again. I could have just ignored it, but I can't just ignore it, because I treat everyone with respect. I do, until they disrespect me. And I have this thing where when someone blatantly disrespects me to my face for no reason, I gotta say something. I'm not just gonna let that go. It's gonna get me in trouble someday. I know that much. I'm running out of recording time. I have 3 minutes left on my phone. I should have edited this video. I have a whole trip to do. We'll figure it out.